Day 3, Mikey, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. Whoop. Psych, you really thought I was partying? We out here, high altitude, Colorado Springs, with the Olympians, Team USA Boxing. Let's get it. Let's go.
Mike Tyson has exploded in response to Jake Paul's mockery. Sadly, Jake Paul has become so unrepentant and deaf to the cries of boxing professionals who have demanded more from him in terms of respect and politeness. Another training footage has been leaked where Jake Paul was seen mocking not just Mike Tyson, but making light of his career as well. In response, Mike Tyson, who is no slouch when it comes to giving comebacks and reacting furiously, has blown the mind of many with his statements to Paul. Let's hear him out. Jake Paul has continued to ignite the heat ahead of the much-anticipated bout against Mike Tyson on July 20th. There has been a lot going on in the build-up to this showdown, and it has come as a surprise given the two personalities involved in this matchup. They are two very outspoken men from two different generations and eras. Expectedly, there's definitely going to be some trash talking, controversies, and drama until the D-Day arrives.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
No problem. Saturday, July 20th.
See you there, buddy. You heard it right, mother. I'm fighting Mike.
The Drake curse.
Yeah, I think you should tell Drake to bet on Mike this fight.
When Drake finally bet on me against Tommy Fury, I lost as well. I feel like it's actually a real thing.
That shit is very real, bro.
Drake, please bet on Mike.
The latest installment in the episode of Dramas and Controversies is Jake Paul's recent controversial statement mocking Mike Tyson and his career, and the baddest man on the planet has not hesitated one bit in issuing a response. Recent video training footage of Jake Paul has tried to make fun of Mike Tyson, as Paul, in the process of issuing a challenge message to Tyson, did utter some words that definitely did not go down well with the boxing legend. Day 3, Mikey, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see, Paul said in the recently leaked training footage.
Day 3, Mikey, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. Whoop.
Paul, in that footage, re-emphasized what almost everyone had been saying ever since the bout between Paul and Tyson was made official. He didn't only stop at that, he went on to fire shots at Tyson's career in another leaked footage. He said, "Mikey, your legend is here. I'm your hero. When you were my age, you haven't achieved half of what I achieved." On seeing this, a fan quipped, "Paul thinks an achievement is having a YouTube channel of 20 million followers. Tyson had none, but the whole world was following him in his prime." In another recently made post by Jake Paul on a social media platform, Instagram, a few days ago, the 27-year-old posted a photo of himself facing off with Mike Tyson ahead of the much-anticipated showdown, and he captioned the photo, "The greatest heavyweight boxer on the planet and Mike Tyson." Of course, Paul's social media caption had sparked several reactions, as he had indirectly referred to himself as the greatest heavyweight boxer on the planet, a title or description more befitting of his upcoming opponent, Mike Tyson, who was indeed a two-time world champion in his active years. No one can deny that Tyson had an illustrious career, as he is widely regarded as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. He reigned as the undisputed world heavyweight champion from 1987 to 1990. Tyson was so good that he won his first 19 professional fights by knockout, 12 of them being in the first round. Claiming his first title at the very young age of 20 years, Tyson also holds the record as the youngest ever boxer ever to win a heavyweight title. He was the first heavyweight boxer to simultaneously hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles, as well as the only heavyweight to unify them in succession. The following year, Tyson became the lineal champion when he knocked out Michael Spinks in 91 seconds of the first round. It is evident that Mike Tyson already had his name entrenched in the canals of history as one of the greats, not just in boxing, but in sports as a whole. However, it is no longer news that Tyson will be 58 when he goes up against a 27-year-old Jake Paul at the AT&T Stadium on July 20th, meaning there will be a 31-year age gap between both fighters, a situation that has left Paul vehemently believing that he's got the biggest advantage heading into the clash. Though, It is still popularly believed that despite being in his late 50s, Mike Tyson remains one of the strongest fighters, with many believing that he's still got one of the strongest punches in boxing. Tyson's marauding and rapid offensive approach stood him out during his prime years. And when he was going to respond to Jake Paul, he stuck with his decision never to give Jake Paul so much attention anymore. His response was short and simple. The career you disrespect will be revived on July 20th, and you'd have the right words afterwards. I won't waste my time conversing with a dumbass. Tyson has spoken about the revival of his career, and it's seeming truer than ever. In his latest training and sparring footage, it is evident that the boxing legend still has what it takes to land a devastating knockout on any opponent, including Jake Paul. As evident from footage, even Tyson's trainer, Rafael Cordero, who was a professional MMA fighter, has had difficulties keeping up with him. But Paul definitely does believe that Tyson won't be able to touch him. According to him, he's got the speed and agility to counter Mike Tyson's approach. "You can't hit what you can't see," was a statement that implied Tyson won't be able to see him, and as such won't be able to touch him, talk less of defeating him. And this statement looked to be born out of the level of confidence Jake Paul had garnered over time, as he had definitely fancied himself to dodge Tyson's punches. Before now, one of the biggest questions going into the match has been how Jake Paul plans to deal with Tyson's offensive approach, and how he would want to protect himself against those punches. Experts have even claimed Tyson's early approach to the match could determine the match in a matter of seconds, depending on how fit and ready Tyson would be on the match day and how Paul would be looking to deal with the attacks. It remained a very popular belief, and even a consensus, that a fighter of Jake Paul's getting into the ring with Mike Tyson would be very suicidal. I found every Tyson fight on something online and watched all of them. Dude, it's his first 10 fights that went 30 seconds each. Like, you get their first 10 pro fights and he's just murdering people. And then finally, at least they start going a few rounds, but it's like they couldn't get anybody to stick in the ring with him long enough to get any real work in. It's so impressive too, because he had such a disadvantage from a reach perspective. Everyone he was fighting, I mean, he's like 5'11", 5'10". He's fighting guys that are 6'6". Bone Crusher, Smith, and some of these cats were huge, but he just gets up under their chest and throws those uppercuts. Every punch, either hand, every angle is going to murder you, said the anchors of the Weirdo and Beardo podcast while analyzing the strength of Mike Tyson.
I found every Tyson fight on something online and watched all of them. Dude, it's his first 10 fights went 30 seconds each.
Yeah.
Like you get through his first 10 pro fights and he's just murdering people.
Right.
And then finally, at least they start going a few rounds, but he's like, they couldn't get anybody to stick in the ring with him long enough to get any real work.
Thus, no matter the size of the opponent, they just couldn't stand Tyson, who was not necessarily a big man, as he stood relatively small, around 5'10", 5'11". Tyson was the ultimate beast slayer when he emerged as a young, talented boxer. Tyson was knocking out people left, right, and center when he was Paul's age, and even when he was way younger, as young as when he was still a rookie teenage boxer. The power and strength of Tyson at his peak was incredible, and only the best of the best could stand a chance of sharing the ring with him, not to talk of being able to beat him. Iron Mike Tyson sent fear down the spine of opponents. However, Paul and everyone in his camp have always continued to boast about his abilities ahead of the bout on July 20th. "I'm younger, quicker, and faster," Jake Paul had earlier said on his social media handles regarding the fight with Mike Tyson. Of course, Tyson has been retired for 19 years now, with his last fight coming in 2020 in what was an exhibition match against Roy Jones Jr., and now he's back again for this exhibition match that definitely does involve a lot of money. Hence, it has garnered a lot of attention and talking points in the build-up to the main event. Jake Paul, being a YouTuber and internet sensation turned boxer, is no stranger to the buzz, the clout, and the drama, and he consistently tries to create it, not minding the backlash or the reaction of Tyson, who many have come to believe was trained to slay men in the ring. And Tyson continues to be an icon and role model who many athletes aspire to reach and attain the heights he reached in his career. There was always another side to Mike Tyson though, and that was his controversial personality both inside and outside the ring. The baddest man on the planet was one of the biggest trash talkers in boxing history, though Tyson made sure he backed up his words with actions. He was ready to fight dirty and go dirty. He was so obsessed with winning, little wonder he once bit off the ear of his rival-turned-friend, Evander Holyfield, during their rematch in 1997, one of the few matches Tyson lost, and a match known controversially as the Bite Fight. Tyson's life outside the ring was even more controversial. Alcoholism, drugs addiction, and a rape conviction still hangs on Tyson's public image till date. There is no doubt that Tyson at some point in his life had his personal life crises, and he even admitted to being a depressed individual once in an interview.
I don't know if I'm mentally sick, but I have sometimes episodes. Sometimes I'm a depressed individual. I have episodes, and I'm human. I had to deal with demons with that. I felt I was that kind of person that really my objective was just to hurt people as much as possible. Yeah. You know, not just beat them, but just to really hurt them, so they never forgive me. And that was just my goal. That's what I learned from cuts. That's all I knew.
I don't know if I'm mentally sick, but I sometimes have episodes. Sometimes I'm a depressed individual. I have episodes and I'm human, but no one cares about my health as a human. Because sometimes I'm in my episodes when I'm at work, Tyson said in an interview. That feeling goes through everyone's mind, I'm sure, and if it doesn't, you must be crazy. Everyone thinks about that because sometimes you know me. It's just tough being a person. It's tough being a bad person. You know what I mean? When talking about a lot of people surrounding him, he added, that adds to depression. That adds to the false sense of security, you know. I gotta be around all these, I don't know who to love. I'm a full-blown addict at that time. Full-blown. It's something that is not to be proud of, Tyson said in an interview a while ago. However, he claimed to have been clean a long time ago, saying, yes, I am. 4 years to 5 years ago now, Mike Tyson had been introduced to alcohol as early as less than a year old, as it was given to him by his mother, who fed a young Tyson alcohol in order to make him fall asleep. The first time I had alcohol was from my mom. It was given to me to induce sleep, Tyson said in an interview. What might have just been a moment of innocent carelessness from a mother to a child really did have its effects in the long run, and given how events unfolded, it will be right to say giving alcohol to a young child, for whatever reason, was a wrong idea. Tyson's life and career was more like a roller coaster, having experienced the peak of everything good and also everything bad. I had to deal with demons with that. I was that kind of person that really my objective was just to hurt people as much as possible. Not just to beat, but just to really hurt them so they never forget me, and that was just my goal. What I learned from Cuse, that's all I knew. My love was hurting people. The more people I hurt, the more love I received. At one stage, I was a god. I just didn't know what to do. I got sucked into all my vices, women, drinking, parties, spending. It just took a toll on me. It took on my self-esteem. It took a toll on my whole barometer, so to speak. That guy had to die. That guy had to no longer exist in my life in order for me to survive in the new world. The guy from the past can no longer project anything kindly to my future, so he had to die and I had to be a different person. His neighborhood and the environment in which he grew up, Brownsville, Brooklyn, didn't help matters either, as Tyson had to navigate through several life challenges while growing up, and it might be probably right to say those experiences did play a role in the adult and the kind of champion Tyson later became. While the vices like alcohol and other negatives might have affected him negatively, Tyson drew strength from his rough background and upbringing. Safe to say it made him a tough guy. The conviction, jail term, and every other thing that happened during Mike Tyson's career could have marked the end of the career of a man who would turn out to be one of the greatest boxers of all time. But the moment Tyson was able to put his issues and challenges behind him, he became unstoppable again. Even up till the latter stages of his career in the early 2000s, Tyson still had issues with alcohol addiction, but he didn't give up, and right now, he is enjoying his retirement as a happy man. Even at 58, Tyson remains a top athlete as he's always maintained his fitness. Not many fighters his age will issue or accept a challenge from a boxer 30 years younger from a new generation and a new era. The fight against Roy Jones, though 4 years ago, and against a much older opponent than Jake Paul, Tyson showed he was still capable of getting in the ring and getting the work done. And even though the 2020 bout with Roy Jones Jr. had ended in a draw, it is still a somewhat popular belief that Iron Mike Tyson was the superior boxer amongst both men. Tyson could still unleash his venom in his usual devastating manner, though his endurance levels will very much be put to the test when he faces Jake Paul, a much younger opponent who can definitely go the long yards in a wrestling match. Francis Ngannou, on his own part, has criticized Jake Paul's antics ahead of the fight with his mentor and trainer, Mike Tyson. According to Ngannou, Paul needs to learn some respect and also save his energy for July 20th. I think Jake talks too much. I won't say he's beginning to talk too much, because that's what he's always done. That's who he is. He was just a YouTube guy before he became a fighter, but I think he needs to learn some respect. Everyone knows Mike Tyson as a legend, and we know everything he's done for boxing, and he deserves a lot of respect for that. Jake should keep his mouth shut and wait to get beaten up by the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. On a normal day, one would have wondered why Jake Paul would ever say such a thing to a man like Mike Tyson. Despite being Iron Mike Tyson, a former world champion and one of the best boxers to have ever stepped in a ring, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Francis Ngannou all idolize or have idolized Tyson at one point in their careers, and Jake Paul, through his comments and antics, may be making himself the villain against Tyson, a risky strategy that may or may not work out for him. As a matter of fact, even Jake Paul has also idolized Mike Tyson at some point in his life and career. I idolized Mike Tyson until the first time I met him 4 years ago. He called me Logan, going to make sure he knows who I am real close and personal, Jake Paul said in a post on social media platform X as he officially announced the July 20th fight between himself and Tyson.
I always loved it, huh? Good to meet you. Where you from, Lo? I'm Jake. Imagine meeting your childhood hero for the first time and they call you your brother's name. We don't even fucking look alike. And ever since that day.
Imagine meeting your childhood hero for the first time and they call you your brother's name. We don't even look alike. And ever since that day, Mike, I've wanted to knock you out, Jake Paul said in a video referencing when he first met Mike Tyson. Tyson, on the other hand, has issued a rather emphatic response to Jake Paul following his comments about himself being the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time and Tyson not being able to punch what he can't see. Tyson's reaction is that of rage and anger, and he sounded more like someone who just can't wait to meet Jake Paul face to face in the ring. Hey, white kid, I know you're probably thinking you're at the top of your game right now, but I'm gonna mess you up. You're not all that, kid. July 20th. Be there to watch yourself get knocked out in front of your folks. You haven't had a real fight test, and I'm gonna give you your first real fight. Can't wait, Tyson said, while reacting to Paul's post and footage. Iron Mike Tyson looks to very much be in the mood ahead of July 20th. He looks as fit and ready as ever before, and the more Jake Paul continues his antics ahead of the match, the more eager Tyson would be to knock him out. Of course, Tyson is not new to this sort of antics from opposing boxers. Trash talking, banters, mind games, and a lot of pre-match shenanigans is literally part of boxing. Mike Tyson has always proven to be able to fit into whatever character and personality needed before every match. He has never been fazed by mind games in the past, and he is also the last person that will ever be bullied either by words or by actions. Tyson remains one of the best trash talkers in boxing, and do not be surprised if he's not done with Jake Paul yet. He may not want to banter too many words with Paul, though. Given his age and experience, Tyson is very much in his unpredictable era. No one can categorically point out what to expect from him or what not to expect either in or outside the ring. At the age of 57, Tyson is probably much calmer in his persona and demeanor. He is probably not as fierce and brutal as he used to be in his words and in his approach. One thing is certain though, and that is the fact that Mike Tyson still has that element of the same Mike Tyson that once dominated the world of boxing in him, and is sure to definitely give boxing fans a good match against Jake Paul. As for Jake Paul, it's another opportunity to test himself against one of the very best fighters available. If you enjoyed watching this video, kindly react by clicking the like button below. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications to get alerted when we drop quality contents like this.